Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today at this TEAMER Facility Showcase webinar. My name is Aaron Franco, and I work with the Pacific Ocean Energy Trust, which administers the TEAMER program for the Department of Energy Water Power Technologies Office. Today, we have a webinar where we're going to tell you, let some of our facility members of the TEAMER network tell you about their capabilities, the people who can help you with your marine energy research needs, and the technologies and capabilities they have to help you. We have with us today representatives from Oakridge National Laboratory and Southwest Research Institute. We'll start with the Southwest Research Institute representatives, Dr. Subhra Koley and Chris Storey. They'll give you an overview of some of the capabilities that the Southwest Research Institute can do for marine energy technology developers seeking support through the TEAMER program. Just before we do that, two quick little notes. For anyone who is not familiar with the TEAMER program, we are an organization funded through the Department of Energy that pairs marine energy technology developers with facilities specialized in marine energy research and technology testing. And you submit an application, you prepare a test plan together, and then you carry out the testing, assuming your application is approved. We run requests for technical support rounds for applications. And right now we have just opened our 17th round for technical support requests. So if you'd like to apply, for sure, listen closely to some of these presenters we have today who will tell you what they can do to help you as a marine energy technology developer. If there are any facility members, it's good to know what the other facilities in the network can do. So I'm glad to have you with us as well. Without any further ado, I will turn it over to Chris.
I'm Chris Storey, Senior Manager of the Marine Structures Engineering and Ocean Simulation Labs here at Southwest Research. In short summary, I've been here closing in on 20 years, and if we can design it, analyze it, build it, bend it, break it for you, that's where we come in.
My name is Shankha Koley. I'm a research engineer at Southwest Research Institute in the machinery department, right across Chris's department. I've been here relatively new, over 1.5 years. But in our department, we have been doing a lot of testing, analysis, designing, everything related to machineries, any sort of machineries since the last 50 years, I guess. So just without any further ado, I'll start the presentation. Southwest Research Institute is a private, not-for-profit applied research and development company, which was founded in 1947. We have over a 1,500-acre facility, as you can see from these pictures here, which shows a bird's eye view of our campus. We have a well spread out campus with multiple lab buildings and a room to grow more. We have over 3,200 employees, and we provide R&D to both government, private entities for which benefits everyone. Much like our motto, which is deep sea to deep space, Southwest Research Institute covers a wide array of topic from literally from deep sea to deep space, as you'll see some through the course of this presentation. I like to show this particular slide, which really portrays what the niche area of Southwest Research Institute is. So most of the universities or the national labs specialize in fundamental research or basic research, and the industry towards production and product development. We come in between as a bridge between the national labs or the universities or the basic science to the actual product development, where we carry out bulk of this applied research. I'm representing the machinery department. So let me give you a brief overview of our department. So we do applied research centered around rotating machinery and their associated systems, which has its applications in industrial machinery, aviation, liquid propulsion, power generation, oil and gas. We have expertise covering a wide range of topics. uh, we have we can carry out techno-economic analysis as well as design technologies, demonstrate them, build them, and also mature the products for OEMs. Our department has more than 80 staffs with 6 labs and multiple test facilities. We also have capabilities for field testing. This is just an overview of some of the facilities that we have in our department, starting from a reciprocating compressor laboratory to a gas turbine laboratory to a centrifugal turbomachinery laboratory, as well as a multi-phase research facility. And we are currently building a flammable gas test facilities. Throughout all these facilities, we can operate with multiple operating fluids from air, carbon dioxide to hydrocarbons. uh, we have a wide range of machineries from centrifugal pumps, compressors to reciprocating machines to gas turbine engines. Uh, to now coming to the core capabilities and the expertise which is relevant for TEAMER, we have extensive flow modeling as well as fluid structure interaction studies expertise. We can perform low to high fidelity CFD modeling as well as fluid structure interaction studies like flutter analysis, force response analysis, or high cycle fatigue analysis. To carry out uh, this analysis, we have several capabilities, starting from several in-house codes to the open source NASA design codes that are available. We also have the entire suite of ANSYS, which can carry out this analysis, as well as AXStream, which is another software suite that helps in geometry generation and characterizing 1D performance. We also have a in-house software called the NPSS. SwRI is a consortium of this software, and we currently develop. We are also responsible for developing this software further, and this has capabilities of system modeling, cycle design, as well as simple fluid thermal analysis. Regarding the computational capabilities, we own more than 500 cores, which is not crazy high, but good enough for industrial purposes, and we can always grow more depending on a necessity. Apart from the numerical modeling side, we also have extensive performance testing experience where we have carried out both field and laboratory testing. We have multiple loops, both open and closed loop, and gas turbines to carry out these measurements. We have standard ASME standard measurements for flow, pressure, temperature, speed, torque, anything that is required to completely characterize a turbo machine, as well as specialty measurements like multi-hole probes or laser-based measurement systems like the laser Doppler velocimetry or the particle image velocimetry, and also high-speed visualization, which can be used for, say, cavitation studies or yeah. Uh, and sorry about the sound. So one of the major USP of its ability to create customized test setups for unique application. On the left is a test setup was carried out for a rocket for Aerojet Rocketdyne jet engine, and on the right we have for space applications. So we have the expertise and the experience to build custom test setup for different applications. And to finally cap up, I would like to showcase a recent toolset that SwRI developed, which we call Project Z. It analyzes microgrids by evaluating energy generation from different sources uh, and also energy storage technologies to provide hourly energy balance for a microgrid. This can also be used for techno-economic analysis of individual technologies in both energy generation and storage. And let me show some further recent works that we have carried out. Over the last couple of years, we had one TEAMER project where we carried out the numerical investigation for a reactive reversible blade turbine. So which was designed by Cricktides Energy. So Cricktides Energy experimental data set for a single blade, and we validated a CFD model with a single blade result, and then we built a numerical model for the different critical design parameters that is required for this sort of products. Further on, we also have several other projects that we have worked independently with both private as well as DOE. This is called the Supercritical Transformational Electric Power which is kind of a flagship project for using supercritical CO2 as the working fluid, and we are currently trying to build a 10 megawatt power plant. So we have carried out both the design as well as fabrication of all the necessary aero components or design components required for this power plant, and this is a project which is up and running with multiple industry and government partners. And finally, to give a brief overview of some of the other projects where Southwest has partnered with several other private industries as well as DOE offices to develop a turbo expander, integrally geared compounder for Hanwha, as well as testing casing treatments for a Hanwha compressor, which increases the operating range, and also several other centrifugal compressor development, including isothermal compression. We also have our footprint in several long duration energy storage projects, starting from pumped thermal energy storages to proper thermal energy storage, as well as pump hydro assessments, assessment studies, and storage applications. You can directly reach out to us, and that should be fine. I'll hand over to Chris for his presentation.
Thank you. All right. So I gave a brief introduction. Again, Chris Storey, been here about 20 years, primarily on the pressure vessel side, building structures, taking them to extreme loads and testing, and it's all been done within the structural engineering department. So as you can see, a brief photos, we do test large structures, typically marine related, but we also deal with the aircraft side and life extension programs. So just a few highlights in our department and our facilities that I think would be applicable to this group. We have what we call the Heavy Article Test Facility, HAT facility. It's in our building number 283, which has multiple cranes and a large unencumbered floor space. Currently, it's being used as a fabrication space. So we have plenty of subarc welders, TIG weld stations, and other manipulators inside for large items to be fabricated. We do deal with multiple metals, high-strength steels, some exotics, austenitic. That building does have a 100-ton crane inside of it, as well as a 20-foot cube pit that is capable of being flooded. As long as we put a jacket inside of it, the floor can take the loads due to the liquid. On the lower left, the Ocean Simulation Labs is a 3 building complex, and when I say ocean simulation, it's more deep ocean, no surface or wave type tanks. What we do have 24 high pressure chambers that are capable of applying pressure to items. We do strain surveys. We can put strain gauges on, even external to a feature, and have the strain gauge exposed to pressure. We have some protections and mitigation techniques so we can get accurate measurements from a component undergoing high stress environments. And the breakaway photo or the breakaway picture is a 30-inch diameter chamber that we have going in that will be rated for 16,500 PSI. We have a closer picture of that coming up in the next slide. And we have an environmental test facility, which could be useful. We have multiple vibration and shock tables in the back of the picture there. And in the forefront are two large 8-foot cube environmental test chambers capable of temperature and humidity control and hitting real high concentrations, real high relative humidities, relative to what electronics may be serviced in, and even some components behind not pictured salt spray rooms to expose an element to UV or salt spray. Our department has about 140 plus people, a good mix of engineering staff, fabrication staff, and technicians for testing needs. Just some quick highlights as we go through. The Marine Structures Engineering Group has been several decades, 40 plus years building pressure vessels, focusing either on pressure vessels for human occupancy. Pictured there in the middle is the rescue sub for the Navy. We did the primary pressure hull and the transfer skirt seen on the bottom. And on the far right is a quarter scale submarine that was supplied to the Navy. It's called the Kokanee, or LSV-1, if you would like to look that up. But we do focus on deep ocean or even land-based pressure vessels. So plenty of folks well-versed in the different design codes in terms of ASME or naval ABS requirements, if those are sounding familiar. One study we did a few years ago, probably borrowing from our department over there in Department 4, we ran a CFD for a shallow water rescue case. This was really interesting because it dealt with the rescue sub you saw on the previous page, mating up to a distress sub in real shallow water. The forces involved actually aren't enough to hold a proper seal. And this was one of the capabilities I just wanted to show about dealing with shallow water wave hydrodynamic forces on large objects. One other thing that we do is provide full turnkey test systems. So even if we can't provide the testing services, we can provide equipment that can do that. So pictured here is a full turnkey controls, HPUs, scaffolding, everything you see there is where we provided to a customer for them to test their components, and about a 42-inch diameter chamber vessel that's rated for, I believe that one was 440 bar. And it was delivered to the UK. So we're used to dealing with even other design codes from other nations. Just to highlight some of our analysis capabilities, we do get involved with the design of components. On the far left is a rib stiffened structure, perform inelastic buckling analysis that could further iterate the designs for number of ribs, wall thickness, items like that, out of sphericities. On the lower right is the Alvin Hall. We were involved with the personnel sphere replacement for that, and designed and fabricated and tested the entire hull. And on the far right, NASGRO is a proprietary software that we do provide for fracture analysis. It's been in use for several decades, and we run a licensed consortium. Just wanted to highlight that 30-inch chamber again. It's quite large working space, 30-inch diameter, 180-inch working length, full ocean depth rated. Plenty of penetrations in case need to communicate hydraulically or electrically with an item that's on the inside. We do test buoyancy modules, syntactic foams, hard components, most anything possible that can fit inside. All right, that's it. Yeah, if we need something, our contact information is on one of the earlier slides. It's best to get a hold of an engineer directly, and they can help you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Subhra and Chris. Happy to pass it over to our colleagues at Oakridge National Laboratory. Jiyong, would you like to kick off your part?
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks for the invite to showcase TEAMER testing facility at Oakridge National Lab. I'm Jiyong Lee, an R&D associate scientist and principal investigator for TEAMER support here at Oakridge National Lab. Today, I will provide a brief overview of our testing capabilities with a spotlight on the Surface Engineering and Tribology Lab and the Aquatic Ecology Lab. Dr. Jun Qu and Dr. Terry Mathews will soon share more about their expertise and how their labs support marine energy technology development. First, let me introduce ORNL's leadership computing facility, which hosts Frontier, one of the world's fastest high-performance computers. Using these powerful resources, we've supported design optimization for PIRE's self-sustaining ocean observing system using numerical simulations in RFTS2. We've also just kicked off a new TEAMER project with the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, to develop an open source, the fluid structure interaction model for optimizing designs of flexible turbine blades. In addition, we also submitted an RFTS 16 proposal with Sandia National Lab and the University of Alaska Fairbanks to study long-term tidal energy variability in Cook Inlet, Alaska. ORNL also supports grid integration and deployment. A notable example is our work in Adjuntas in Puerto Rico, where we helped construct a microgrid to improve energy resilience in remote mountain communities. Although that project focused on solar energy, similar grid integration technologies can be applied to marine energy systems. In transportation, ORNL develops components like powertrains, power electronics, and batteries, many of which can be adapted for marine energy applications. We also host the DOE's manufacturing demonstration facility, which focuses on advanced materials and manufacturing. With this expertise, ORNL can support for manufacturing design optimization and developing and adopting new materials for marine energy devices. For example, we've collaborated with Emergy to demonstrate the use of additive manufacturing to produce hydrofoil for their vertical axis hydrokinetic turbines. This approach reduced costs by 80% of the production and improved corrosion resistance using new materials. Now, I will hand things over to Dr. Jun Qu and Dr. Terry Mathews, who will detail how their labs support testing and validation for marine energy technologies. Jun Qu, floor is yours.
All right, so yeah, thank you. And we are glad to be part of the TEAMER. ORNL has been doing tribology research since 1980s, so it's been more than 40 years now. But we are new to TEAMER, so we're really excited about this. And for people outside tribology, people often think tribology research primarily just doing rubbing tests to see the friction wear. While true, testing is necessary, but the research truly beyond that. Whenever we encountered tribology issues, friction issues, wear issues, then we always do tribal system analysis first. We need to understand the failure mechanism, right? What's the wear modes? Then normally the technique we use is combination of contact interface modeling, and materials or surface calculation. So with that, we can truly understand the interface phenomenon, what's going on, why it's not working, where the trouble source is. Yeah, then after that, after gaining the fundamental understanding, so we can come up with proposals for different mitigations. Could be either from the design side or from the material side. And here at Oakridge, we have expertise in developing new materials, meaning from either from the fluid side, the new lubricants, or from the hardware side, means new coatings, new surface treatment. Then sometimes we come with new materials from both sides, and we seek synergy between the new lubricant and new coatings to solve the problem in a better way. Then after that, after selecting the candidate materials, we do binding scale triple testing. Then in order to make the testing meaningful, we have to match the wear modes between our testing, lab testing versus the the actual application. We could simulate abrasive wear, could be either 2-body or 3-body abrasion, sliding wear, bretting wear, or we can simulate rolling contact fatigue, normally experienced by gearbox and bearings. Then not only the wear mode, but also we need to do the best job we can to simulate operation conditions using our turbometers. Like we control the gas environment, we control the temperature, the load, the speed, and also the lubrication regime. And we constantly work with ASTM to establish new standards for turbo testing. Over the years, we already established 4 of them, and they are widely used in the industry. Then after testing, the job is not done yet. So we have to understand why the new materials either work better or worse compared to the conventional. This comes from the fundamental investigation through surface calculation, which ORNL has the best facility for that. And we do a lot of things, including surface topography, roughness, and surface energy measurement, and also the mechanical properties like hardness, modulus, and of course we do the microstructure and composition analysis all the time using like SEM, TM, XPS. Then with the combination of those information from the surface calculation, we can understand the rationale. What's the new next step? Whether the mitigation we propose, is truly outperform the conventional, and how do we improve further? So that's the strategy we normally take. And quickly give you example successful story in the last few years. We've been developing eco-friendly lubricants since 2018, and in the last few years, one of the focused application is marine energy, specifically tidal turbomachinery. That one contains a gearbox, then which is lubricated by gear oil. But the current gear oils are toxic to the environment. So therefore, we are trying to develop a new environmental friendly lubricant for the marine turbine. And first, we work with one SwRI team from Sundia. We gained the understanding of the gearbox gear oil requirements from both the tribological and environmental requirement perspective. Then we work with the chemists in-house to synthesize the new lubricant additives. Then we conducted turbo testing and surface calculation to downselect the top performers. Then we work with Terry's group in the Aquatic Ecology lab to conduct marine toxicity and also biodegradability tests. Then with those, then we identify the best lubricant candidate. You can see quickly summarized to the right. We reduced the friction by 50%, wear by 10 times. Then also the new lubricant it can be characterized as not toxic and biodegradable based on the EPA standards, and they are much more benign compared to the commercial gear oils. Okay, so next is Terry.
Hi, yeah, thanks. My name is Terry Mathews, and I am the director of ORNL's Aquatic Ecology Lab. ORNL has a long history of aquatics research which dates back almost to the inception of the lab in the 1940s. I've been at the lab for 16 years, and with the degree in oceanography, I'm going to make the case to you that despite being located in Tennessee, the Aquatic Ecology Lab has some unique attributes that make it well suited for marine energy research. So the Aquatics Lab at ORNL is a unique aquatic research facility located at Oakridge National Lab in Oakridge, Tennessee. It's one of the few aquatic research facilities in the region and includes 9,000 square feet of floor space consisting of flowing stream mesocosms, banks of aquaria, and large tanks for various aquatic studies. Within the facility are analytical, bioindicator, and toxicity testing laboratories that Jun has just mentioned. So with the analytical laboratories, so we could measure things like metals with ICP-MS, HPLC. Basically in-house, we can look at water quality issues. And then bioindicator, looking at the health of different organisms, and toxicity testing, as Jun mentioned, looking at the impacts of different technologies and different chemicals when they enter the marine environment. Adjacent to the facility are 6 quarter-acre research ponds and 2 nearby treatment ponds that can be used for research as well. The facility uses a state-of-the-art water treatment system to bring dechlorinated water to the experimental tanks and mesocosms that can be used for algal, invertebrate, and fish studies. We also have the capability to pump natural stream water from local streams into our facility and to conduct experiments which add chemicals or contaminants into flow-through systems because of a state-of-the-art water treatment facility which receives our water after it flows through our tanks. And while we don't have direct access to saltwater, being located in Tennessee, we can regularly create artificial seawater for smaller scale experiments. Factors such as flow rate, temperature, and light intensity can be controlled in these tanks. The tank space includes 8 long, so 22-meter artificial stream mesocosms, which can operate either in recirculating or flow-through mode. 2 10-meter stream mesocosms, recirculating streams, 8 circular 750-liter tanks, and other deeper living streams. Longer-term studies in the lab include things like aquaculture, including marine and freshwater algae that we've grown for biofuels, as well as studies to develop materials to prevent biofouling, both in freshwater and marine environments. We have 5 temperature and light-controlled growth chambers suitable for algal, invertebrate, and larval fish culture for experimental purposes, and more incubators are available in nearby greenhouses. We have microscopes equipped with state-of-the-art digital imaging equipment that can be used for taxonomic studies as well as to monitor cell growth. We can monitor algal biomass and photosynthetic activity using spectrophotometry or multispectral and hyperspectral imagers. And in the field, we can use portable flow-through cell fluorometers capable of continuous chlorophyll A measurements. And then again, things like nutrients can be monitored in our analytical facilities. So it might not be immediately obvious as to why an aquatics lab in Tennessee might be appropriate for marine testing, but the ORNL Aquatics Lab benefits from being associated with the nation's largest science lab, and we take full advantage of the scientific expertise around us. So within the lab, we've got fisheries and aquaculture expertise, toxicology, oceanography, geospatial science, biochemistry, molecular ecology on staff, but then we are also collaborating across the lab, including collaborations, as Jun mentioned, with the Tribology lab. And on the next 2 slides, I'll take some time to just describe some of the exciting partnerships that we've made across the lab and with industry partners to give you a flavor of what might be possible when working with us. But I will be present at next month's summit, the TEAMER summit, where I'll go into more detail. Okay, so we just celebrated the 40th anniversary of our long-term biological monitoring program in the Aquatics Lab, and this is focused on understanding how DOE activities are impacting aquatic biodiversity. And a key focus of this program has been on species detection and quantification, which is one of the key ecological focus areas for marine technology development. Here, I'm going to highlight 3 partnerships with industry partners where we've developed technologies for species detection using novel technologies that may be of interest to the marine energy community. So on the top left, you see like a really beautiful rainbow colored image. This is an example of a long-term acoustics monitoring of, in this case, I'm showing acoustics monitoring of secretive marsh birds. They're called secretive because they're hard to detect. They're located in marshes, which are traditionally hard to sample in, and they don't frequently call. So traditional monitoring includes just going out and listening for birds. And if you work at a government lab, that's usually between the hours of 8 and 5. And a lot of these birds don't call at those hours. So we've developed techniques that allow for the long-term deployment of these acoustic monitors. By transforming these acoustic signals to what's called long duration false colored spectrograms, you see these beautiful like tapestry-like images here, you can actually use machine learning to detect threatened and endangered species. And this image is actually showing where we've detected the least bittern, which is that bird that you see on the top left there. In 40 years of monitoring, or over 40 years of monitoring on the Oakridge Reservation, we had not detected this bird, but using this technique, we were able to positively identify a secretive marsh bird. So these spectrograms are a visual representation of soundscapes, and they're particularly useful for long recordings. So we can analyze and identify acoustic events and species over extended periods of time. And they offer a novel way to look at acoustics data, which could be particularly useful around marine energy devices or deployments. So I've highlighted this example here. We have done acoustics monitoring underwater, but I just thought this was an example of a rare species detection that we've had recently at the lab. So I decided to show this, and I particularly like this image. Another example of a collaboration with industry that is particularly relevant to the marine energy industry is the EDNAbot. So the EDNAbot, or eDNA bot, is an autonomous robot that we're really excited about. ORNL has just gotten a patent for this robot. So it's an autonomous robot that can sample for aquatic biodiversity and detect species just from a sample of water. So this is in collaboration with the Manufacturing Demonstration Facility, which is one of the TEAMER facilities here at the lab, and in collaboration with Smith Root, which is one of the most commonly used companies for fisheries biology. So in collaboration with the MDF and Smith Root, we're developing this robot which allows us to sample water, sequence that water for the DNA that's left behind by fish and other aquatic organisms, and then automatically sequence it and then transmit the data to on-land facilities. So this is an example, and if you're interested in monitoring for species diversity using eDNA, Christine Moody would be the contact for this work. Traditional sampling for fisheries biology involves things like netting or traditional fishing, which can be time consuming, and it only offers a snapshot of what's available on the day. It's similar to what I mentioned with the acoustics monitoring. It just offers a snapshot of whatever the sampler is in contact with at the time of sampling. But eDNA offers a way to more cost effectively detect more species over time. So these are technologies that can be deployed at marine energy installations. And then lastly, on the bottom, I'm showing you a picture of another autonomous instrument. This is an imager instrument that we developed with another small industry called Ocean Space. This is basically a camera that can image in real time aquatic organisms that are pumped across the lens. And then again, through machine learning, we can identify aquatic invertebrates or larval fish. So monitoring the diversity of aquatic invertebrates is one of the most commonly used tools to monitor water quality, because invertebrates are very sensitive to water quality. And looking at the diversity and quantity of the aquatic invertebrate community is a very useful tool. It's one of the most accurate indicators of water quality that there is. But this is actually very time consuming, and the skills that you need to be able to identify these things down to species, it's an art form that is quickly being lost. So through things like the EDNAbot, which uses genomics data, and things like imaging and machine learning, we can actually increase our throughput of sampling in areas and over periods of time that we wouldn't be able to do using traditional monitoring. And if you're interested to hear more about that, my email address is located at the bottom of this slide. So here are two examples. So another key focus of the Aquatic Ecology Lab is on examining water quality and risk. So Jun mentioned this collaboration that we have looking at the toxicity and biodegradability of lubricants. This was another collaboration with industry. So the Aquatic Toxicology Lab is equipped with all of the standard aquatic ecology equipment, toxicology equipment, to look at the health of organisms over time. So in the example that Jun had mentioned, we looked at the toxicity of novel chemicals, novel lubricants that he was designing in the lab. And so we were able to look at what are the impacts on marine organisms. And then we also, one of the other metrics for whether a lubricant or another contaminant is eco-friendly is how quickly it degrades in the environment. So we looked at the biodegradability of these compounds in chambers by putting an inoculum of bacteria, microbial community, into the chambers, and then looking at how quickly the microbes can degrade that material. So in this way, we can use standard methods, ASTM or EPA methods, to look at these things, or we can develop new methods as we do in the lab routinely. So we can look at the impacts of novel chemicals and also chemical mixtures that are being developed for marine energy purposes. And then another thing that we're doing is developing and applying mobile platforms to map water and environmental quality data. So I'm showing you an example here of a USV unmanned surface vehicle, or basically an aquatic drone that we've developed and outfitted with sensors that we developed to look at, in this case, nutrients, so nitrate. And we've got multiple sondes that are attached to the drone, along with a GPS unit, so that we can look at various aspects associated with water quality and habitat and be able to map these things. On the bottom right-hand side, you can see where we've mapped nutrients at a farm, a bioenergy farm in, I believe that's in Iowa. But you can imagine that these things could be deployed at, for example, aquaculture facilities for marine energy, or other facilities for marine energy. And the contact for this work is Natalie Griffiths. Her email address is there. And so these are just a few snapshots of industry partnerships that are relevant to marine energy technologies. If you have a technology that you'd like to further develop and would like to explore working with us, I think that all of our contact information is in the next slide. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Sometimes it takes a little bit to formulate our thoughts, so I'd like to give people some time to think about that, but I just had a question. Say someone would like to work with you. What would you recommend they do to make that start of the potential partnership as fruitful as possible?
I think all of our collaborations really just started with a conversation, just reaching out. Hey, this is what I'm developing. Do you have any applications for it? I think all of the examples that I showed, it's using techniques or tools and twisting them in different ways because we're working in a different. So Jun's technology was used for a different purpose, and we kind of repurposed it for the marine environment. So I think it's just really, if you have something that you're developing and you want to explore adapting it to the marine environment, it's really just a conversation, and we can figure out how we can make that happen.
I don't think I have to add anything to that. It's kind of same, like if it needs to start with a conversation. If someone has a technique, or if someone has an idea with some certainty, and they can reach out to us to get further analysis, we can do those kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So basically, many times we may or may not know exact solution whatsoever. But if you have some issues, for example, for tribology problems, you got weird issues, you want to talk to us first. We can talk. Then we can understand what's the need, what we can do here, and we may be able to do it. If we cannot, we may recommend you to another organization or something like that. So I think I fully agree with Terry. The initiated a conversation is the first but very important step.
I'm going to put a link in the chat here. So if you are a marine energy developer or researcher looking to seek some support from a TEAMER facility. This is the link to our Find a Facility search. Now, of course, you can reach out to any of the researchers you've heard from today via the contact information they shared. But if you have a different type of support need or research need, you can search on our website that I just linked there across our various support areas: tunnel, flume, tank, and basin, expertise, numerical modeling and analysis, laboratory and bench testing, all the way down to, if you have more mature technology, open water testing. We have a question in the chat from Colin Shepard. Is there a formal way to reach out through TEAMER, or is direct contact through your emails, phone numbers the best? If you use that facility search, you will find contact information there for your facility of choice. Yeah, that initial conversation is probably the most important thing.
Aaron, I just wanted to thank you for organizing this, because I think just meeting other folks is super helpful, and I'm looking forward to attending the summit to meet other folks, because very often if the conversation starts when there's already a call for proposals out, it's kind of too late, you're rushing. But I think if we're starting these conversations ahead of time, then when the call comes out, we're already well placed. So
right, yeah, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. You know, if there's one thing that defines TEAMER as a program, I guess after marine energy, it's collaboration. We're seeking to foster collaboration not only between the technology developers who are seeking support through the program, but also between our different organizations who are in the facility network and beyond as well, the industry as a whole. And that takes the form of our public dissemination of research results following our support activities. So that is a requirement of receiving support, is afterward you share your information, what you learned, with the industry at large and through the MHKDR database. And that just helps the industry grow. We learn from each other and we advance the industry. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. We hope that this is the first of a series of TEAMER facility showcases. Today we heard about facilities who just the areas I heard today: modeling and environmental monitoring, structure and materials, hydrodynamics, risk evaluation and mitigation. And that's just sort of the tip of the iceberg. There are so many capabilities in the network with our, if you look at that facility page, you'll find 83 entries right now, I believe. So I hope we can come back and share more of the good work that our facility network members can do, just like we heard today from Southwest Research Institute and Oakridge National Laboratory. Thank you again to everyone, Jiyong, Terry, Jun, Subhra, and Chris for sharing your expertise with us today. And
thank you so much.
We hope to see some applications from some of you who attended today in the future.
That sounds great.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
thanks.